Everybody, welcome back to my channel. I am Adorkable Rachel, and it's time once again for another episode of Rachel Reviews, so let's just hop into it. The final film to cover is Batman vs. Superman, or Batman v Superman as the title says. I remember when this film came out last year, and there was actually so much more riding on this one, even more so than Man of Steel, because that film was such a disappointment in so many people's eyes. And the other reason there was so much pressure on Batman vs. Superman is because so many people had been waiting forever for Batman and Superman to appear in a movie together. And I mentioned in my last review that I'm not a really big fan of Superman, but I love me some Batman all day, every day, baby. Hence this t-shirt. Whee! And believe me, I was really excited and hyped for this movie too. I don't take any joy in telling you that I do not like this movie. Also, you know what? The last movie was 2.5 hours long and it felt like it dragged on forever. So surely the new one is gonna be shorter, right? Nope. Batman v Superman marks at 3 hours and 3 minutes long. Mother. So anyway, the movie starts and you can tell right away that it's trying really hard to connect itself to Man of Steel because it actually starts out with Superman fighting Zod in the very first scene. And that makes Batman mad. 18 months go by, and while it seems that Superman is regarded as a hero in Metropolis, a lot of people aren't too happy about him being around still. Because, you know, a lot of people died when Zod was wreaking havoc. Not Superman, Zod. And then the movie goes on with a lot of different things, like Lex Luthor Jr. wanting to confusingly take down Superman, even though Superman hasn't done anything to him yet. Then there's also this mysterious woman that Bruce has a keen eye for. Who could it be? Also, there's a scene where Lex Luthor is so excited that Bruce Wayne and Clark Kent are meeting each other, even though he doesn't know the significance of that. Yeah, he just kind of overplays it for the audience that it's such a momentous occasion, and it's like, how do you know that? Also, Lois is trying to figure out where this bullet came from. And all of these things very sloppily lead up to Batman and Superman finally duking it out in the dick-wagging contest of the century, but not for the reasons that you would expect. Now, before we go into the bad stuff, let me take a second to just let you know about the few things that I actually do like about this movie. First of all, the action in this movie is pretty good. In fact, it actually is a lot better than the last movie. When we finally get to the battle between Batman and Superman, it does feel like a legit exciting climax. And just about everything that's related to Batman is pretty good. And actually, I was surprised. I really do like Ben Affleck as Batman. That was really good casting. But one thing that does bother me about his character quite a bit in this film is that Batman is like killing people left and right. And not just in those weird dream sequences. I'm talking about in the reality of the film. What? Who okayed this? Okay, Batman might be a little controversial in this world. Okay, I get it, sure. But Batman does not just blow people up without a second thought. It would make sense if he had an aggressive reason for it, but it's never explained. And I thought that Batman had issues with Superman killing people, so what about you, you freaking hypocrite? I mean, you'd think that Alfred would maybe step in and say something. Sir, I thought we were not going to kill anyone with these weapons that I made. Oh my god. Alfred is the one who designs Batman's equipment. He's the one with blood on his hands. Oh, actually, I kind of like Jeremy Irons as Alfred too. He's quippy. I like it. Even though he's not quite the moral teacher that he normally is whenever Batman gets too hostile, I still thought his performance was really great. But I also have to ask, why does Alfred in this film look like the love child of Alfred from the Tim Burton films and Commissioner Gordon from the Dark Knight films? Coincidence maybe? And since we're talking about casting, we're now gonna take another shift to the negative and talk about the worst casting choice yet, and that is Jesse Eisenberg as Lex Luthor. And normally, I really like Jesse Eisenberg. I loved him in Zombieland, I loved him in The Social Network, but here it's like, what the hell did you do to yourself, man? You turned Lex Luthor into the class clown of the DC universe, and that is not a good thing. Whatever happened to the diabolical, calculating, powerful, mastermind Lex Luthor that we love so much? Why did you turn him into Jesse Eisenberg? I can't. I freaking can't. Now what about Superman? We haven't talked about him much yet. What is his deal in this movie? Well, let's just say that if you are a Superman fan and whether or not you like Man of Steel, you're gonna be pretty disappointed with his arc in this movie. And you know, the whole part of society being mad at Superman thing is a little interesting at times, and it does feel a little forced, but it's also motivated. What I don't like though is the reason why Superman fights Batman. Oh, are you ready for this? Because I don't think you are. In this movie, the reason that Superman fights Batman is because Lex Luthor kidnaps Superman's mother and says, if you don't go fight Batman, I'm gonna kill her. Really? That's the best reason that you could come up with for these two fighting each other? That's what this was building up to? Someone blackmailing one of them to go fight the other one. For what exactly? His amusement? They don't fight each other because they have different conflicting ideologies. They fight each other because Superman wants to save his mommy. What the hell, Zack Snyder? Do you really hate Superman that much? Furthermore, why do you hate his mom so much? Were you just not given that Superman action figure that you wanted so bad as a child? Why is Superman, who to many is the greatest superhero ever, not to me, but to a lot of other people, so degraded in these films? Ugh, I freaking can't with this one.
A few moments later.
Oh my god, that's so much better. Oh, that burns. Ooh. Ah. Okay. I will try to give you the rest of my thoughts on this film. So, despite this movie's amazingly awful flaws, I'm gonna be really honest, I liked it better than Man of Steel. Now, maybe that's because Man of Steel was just so boring by comparison, but I also think that it might be because I did kind of get sucked into the good parts, even though it was 3 hours long. Oh god, I need to finish this a little bit more. But despite its unnecessary length, it also didn't drag on nearly as much as the other one either. Well, that is until the last 20 minutes, but you're kind of like, well, I'm here, I might as well sit through the rest of it. This movie is confusing, and it's definitely not set up for the right reasons, but it's not as boring. The cinematography is pretty good, and some of the ideas behind the conflicts make sense. But the most important part of the film, the story, is what suffers the most. Big time. From beginning to end, nothing about this movie and why it exists feels right. I mean, not only are the motivations behind Batman and Superman insanely weak, but also they try to cram in so much stuff into this movie that we really didn't need. In fact, they probably should have saved a lot of it, especially the hints for Justice League, for another film. I personally think this film should have spent much more time focusing on Batman and Superman. And not just because they're in the title, it's because there's an aggression of Batman and there's a hope of Superman, and they completely conflict against each other. That should have been explored more, not being blackmailed to fight each other. I mean, what the hell, movie? Oh, and also there's that important element that, you know, nothing feels earned at the end. Not gonna say exactly what happens in this movie, but at the end, something really tragic happens to one of the characters, and the problem with that is that we were not given enough time to get invested in this. It is a huge letdown. My guess is, if you are a DC fan, when you watch this film, you probably asked yourself, why? Quite a lot. Why? Just why? Why did they put all of this in the second film? To say anything else nice about the movie, I mean, Wonder Woman kicked ass in the climax. Oh yeah, she was in this, wasn't she? Well, she was awesome in this film, she's awesome in her own movie, and she's pretty much my favorite thing about this film. She makes it worth watching. So those are my thoughts on Batman v Superman: Dawn of Justice. So now I wanna know, have you guys seen the film? And if so, what did you think? Do you like it? Do you not like it? Do you have your own personal reasons for liking it? And if not, what are your personal grudges with not liking it? Also, are you excited about the Justice League film? Are you on the hopeful side or are you on the iffy side? Are you conflicting? Are you hopeful? Are you aggressive? Which one are you? See the metaphor? Why am I doing this? Well, go ahead and leave your comments below. Be sure to like and share. And if you're new and like what you saw here, then don't forget to hit that subscribe button. And also be sure to hit the little bell button down there to get notified when new stuff comes out because I make new videos every week. Bye, Adorka buddies. I'll see you soon.